everyone, welcome to another Explainer. Today we're diving into a really deeply personal and kinda invisible mystery. Picture this, you're sitting quietly, maybe just trying to wind down after a super long day, and you suddenly realize there's a sound in your ears. A sound literally no one else in the room can hear. And weirdly enough, it seems like the more stressed out or overwhelmed you feel, the louder that invisible sound gets. It fluctuates, it changes, but why? Well, today we're uncovering the silent but very real connection between stress and tinnitus.
Look, I want to validate something right off the bat. If you've ever been lying awake at 2 in the morning, overthinking your entire week, and asked yourself, is this ringing getting louder or is it just me? You are definitely not imagining it. Research actually shows us that when you're stressed, anxious, or just super worried, that sound genuinely seems significantly louder. It's not just in your head. Well, actually, scratch that. Technically, it is in your head. But your experience of it magnifying, that's a very real, scientifically backed phenomenon.
Okay, let's dive right into this with Section 1, Understanding the Ringing.
So, at its core, tinnitus is the perception of sound without any external source. But here's the absolutely crucial thing to remember. Tinnitus isn't actually a disease itself. It's a symptom. It's essentially a signal from your body. Usually, it's linked to things like underlying hearing loss, maybe exposure to really loud noises, physical ear problems, or, and this is what we're zeroing in on today, stress. And you know, everyone's experience with this is totally unique. We always call it ringing in the ears, but people describe it in so many different ways. For some, it's a harsh buzz. For others, it's a continuous hiss, a high-pitched whistle, or even, strangely enough, the rhythmic sound of crickets. Some folks only hear these sounds occasionally, like after a loud concert, while others hear them continuously, especially the second they step into a completely quiet room.
Which brings us to our next point, Section 2, the stress connection.
So, can stress actually cause this? Yes, absolutely. Biologically, here's what's going down. When you're under stress, your brain doesn't just feel worried, it physically shifts gears into a high alert mode. Your body gets flooded with stress hormones. We're talking cortisol and adrenaline. Now, this chemical cascade is meant to protect you from danger, right? But it has a major side effect. Your entire nervous system becomes incredibly intensely sensitive.
And because your nervous system is in this high alert mode, your brain stops trusting the outside world and starts hyper-focusing on internal sensations. Think of it like a microphone where the gain has just been cranked all the way up. It's desperately listening for threats. So if you have a really mild, faint ringing in your ears, something your brain would normally just filter out and ignore on a calm day, suddenly your hypervigilant brain locks right onto it. Just like that, a minor background static suddenly feels incredibly loud and demanding of your attention.
And oh boy, this is where the anxiety really spikes. Your brain hears the sound. You start focusing on it. You wonder if it's getting worse. You sit there in your room, desperately checking to see if it's still there. You try to sleep in total silence just to test it. Then you pull out your phone, frantically Googling your symptoms, reading all those worst-case scenarios. Your heart races, your stress just goes completely through the roof. And this brilliantly illustrates the cycle. Stress increases the tinnitus, and then that louder tinnitus increases your stress. It's literally a vicious loop. You stress out, the brain turns up the volume on the ringing, that louder ringing panics you, producing even more cortisol, which just cranks the volume up even higher. They physically feed off each other.
Let's move on to Section 3, Why Nighttime is Worse.
There is such a stark contrast between day and night for anyone dealing with this. During the day, you've got a feast of distractions. You're talking to colleagues, there's traffic, the TV is on in the background, you're focused on work. Your brain is super busy processing all that external data. But at night, the environment just drops into complete silence. It's a void. And without that external audio to process, your brain hones right in on the tinnitus. Combine that sheer physical silence with the fact that our anxieties naturally tend to creep up on us at night, and you can see exactly why tinnitus and severe sleep problems so often go hand in hand.
Okay, let's take a breath here. Section 4, How to Find Relief. Seriously, take a deep breath, because while that whole cycle feels incredibly overwhelming, there are actually very effective ways to break it. The good news is this. While tinnitus might not magically vanish overnight, you can absolutely drastically reduce how much it dictates your daily life. We're going to walk through 4 clear, actionable steps: reducing your stress levels, avoiding complete silence, improving your sleep hygiene, and finally, getting your hearing checked. Step 1 is all about calming down that high alert nervous system we just talked about. You literally have to tell your brain that it's safe, so it'll finally turn down that internal microphone.
Simple relaxation techniques are the key here. Deep breathing exercises, guided meditation, getting outside for a walk, regular exercise, or practicing yoga. And look, these aren't just feel-good buzzwords. They actively lower your cortisol levels, physically breaking the chemical side of that stress tinnitus loop. Step 2 is a total game changer, especially at bedtime. Avoid complete silence. Since we know silence forces your brain to fixate on the ringing, give it something else to listen to. Run a fan for background noise, grab a white noise machine, play some soft ambient music, or put on a track of nature sounds like rain or ocean waves. This soft background noise gently masks the tinnitus. It makes it so much less noticeable and really lets your brain drop its guard. Step 3 is improving your sleep. Remember, poor sleep makes you more stressed, which makes the tinnitus worse. You have to fiercely protect your sleep hygiene to break the loop. That means cutting back on the harsh blue light of screen time before bed, limiting that late afternoon and evening caffeine, and keeping a super regular, predictable sleep schedule so your body knows exactly when it's time to power down. And step 4 is absolutely vital. Get your hearing checked. Because tinnitus is a symptom that's so frequently linked to underlying hearing loss or ear issues that you might not even notice, getting an audiological evaluation by a pro is a must. They can help figure out the root causes and even give you tailored management options like hearing aids with built-in masking technology. Finally, Section 5, when to seek help. Now, managing this yourself is super empowering, but you've got to pay close attention to the medical red flags. You need to stop Googling and seek professional medical help right away if your tinnitus starts completely out of the blue, or if it's only in one ear instead of both. Definitely get checked if it comes with spells of dizziness, sudden hearing loss, or physical ear pain. Or honestly, if it's causing you such severe stress and sleep loss that you just feel like you can't cope. In all these cases, an early medical evaluation is always the best route to take. Dealing with stress and tinnitus can feel like this incredibly isolating giant mountain to climb. But understanding this invisible biological connection between your nervous system and your ears, that is the very first and most important step toward taking your life back. When you find yourself in the quiet of the night, listening to that ringing, remember the cycle. Remember that you have the tools to break it, and remember this powerful thought. Sometimes calming the mind can also calm the sound, which kind of makes you wonder, if stress can physically manifest as a ringing only you can hear, what other invisible signals is your body desperately trying to send you right now? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Until next time, stay curious and take care of yourselves.